Yo, what is up, guys? The next Bungie weekly update came out yesterday, and it dropped some pretty interesting information on how Nightfalls and weekly heroics are going to work. Also, here, as you can see, it came from it's on the front page of Bungie, so you just go to Bungie. Actually, there'll be a link in the description below as well to go to this. And right away, they show you a YouTube link to the Twitch reveal that they did on Wednesday with Mr. Fruit, Cosmo, and one of the designers, Claude Jerome. They did a Shield Brothers strike, which is a new strike coming to Taken King. It was pretty cool. Mr. Fruit used the sword that we've been seeing so much of. You didn't get to see it from his point of view, though. It was from one of the other guys' point of view. And Mr. Fruit was just swinging the sword around, killing enemies. So we don't really know anything about it except for it kills people or enemies, which is still pretty cool. But I suggest you check that out. And also, there was this little magazine that put out some stuff on Taken King. Right there's a little Twitter thing they put out, a little tweet. So you can check that out. Also, Laced Up Lauren is going to be on next Wednesday's reveal. They're patrolling or touring the Dreadnought or something like that. Whatever it is, it's going to be awesome. It's just more hype for Taken King, which we're only like almost 2 weeks away, a little less than 3 weeks. But I'm going to get right into everything that we really want to know about. Alright. Once you've completed the new story campaign, a whole new suite of endgame activities will beckon. That's where strikes get even more challenging when you seek control for the Destiny endgame. Look no further than the creative director for the Taken King, also known as the guy who led the construction of your Vault of Glass, Luke Smith. In our Strike the Dreadnought reveal earlier this week, we showed some of the and told some about how we wanted strikes to move forward into year 2. Strike replayability is augmented by variability, bosses with more interested combat phases and less vitality, strike-specific rewards like armor drops that look like trophies from the strike boss, and weapons that only drop from certain strikes. So that's pretty sweet. So strikes have more replayability because there'll be different dialogue and sometimes different enemies that you fight in the strike and different encounters with the boss. So it won't be the same thing every time. And there's different rewards and strike-specific rewards that'll keep you wanting to play the strikes to get all those rewards and experience every aspect of what the strike has to offer. But those aren't the only changes coming to strikes. We've also looked at the programming strike playlist and made some changes there too. Like in Nightfall, our desired Nightfall experience is a weekly ritual where you get together with your friends for a test of thumb skill and allow players to optimize for gear. But Burn Skulls motivate weapon rotation, and now the burn resist talents found on chest pieces will rotate armor. So armor now has burn modifiers on it, like so you got chest piece with void burn on it that defends better against void burn, and you get a Nightfall where enemies in there that shoot void burn, and it's a void burn Nightfall. So you're gonna want to wear that void burn chest piece to protect you better, and use your favorite void primary from Taken King. The death penalty of being kicked to orbit often leads to players feeling forced to play too safe rather than running through the world as a monster-killing machine. Another thing we didn't like about the Year 1 Nightfall was how players could feel forced to play Nightfall as early as possible in the week to maximize the benefit from the Nightfall buff. So, we've shelved that buff until we can reform it into something closer to its original intent. A mark of prestige for having achieved something challenging, we've adjusted sources of XP and reputation up to account for its absence. So they've kind of gotten rid of the Nightfall buff to kind of make it a little more rewarding and not make you feel like you have to do the Nightfall immediately on reset, which was I was kind of okay with that, kind of threw you right into everything right on reset. But I wonder what they're going to do with that then. It'll be interesting to see. Now the Nightfall requires you to be at level 40 to do it. Wiping no longer returns fire teams to orbit. What does it do then? Now uses 30-second timeout penalty for death, same as raid normal. Ooh, that's interesting. You can't pick people up immediately after they die. You have to wait 30 seconds. So it kind of makes it like a mini raid, which I think is better for the Nightfall. We've removed a dedicated weekly heroic strike from the game this fall. In its place, we've added a new playlist for weekly heroic strikes. Each week, players receive bonus legendary marks from the weekly heroic playlist. These awards are received at the account level rather than the character level, as was the case with your Year 1 weekly heroic rewards. So now it's a playlist rather than one strike, and you can earn marks from doing these. Cool, I guess. We made this change to enable players to focus on a single character more, or feel less pressure to gear 3 characters at once for legendary marks. Interesting. Requires level 40 to do. Remove the weekly heroic strikes, obviously. Instead, accounts receive legendary marks for completing the first 3 weekly heroic strikes. Is that on each character or just one? Remove the weekly cap on how many legendary marks can be earned. Yeah, you can get caps at 200, but then you spend some, and then you can earn as many as you want up to 200 again, and just keep going from there. Guarantee a legendary engram drop from a character's first clear of a weekly heroic strike. So you guarantee 3 legendaries if you have 3 characters. So that's cool. You get a legendary for sure each time. Weekly PvP ritual. Nightfall was built as a ritual experience for groups with 3 players in PvE. In year 1, we didn't have a good weekly ritual experience for PvP players. Once players have completed the PvP intro chain on Lord Shaxx, they receive access to the weekly PvP quest on Lord Shaxx and the PvP Quartermaster. A lot of PvP in there. Each week, Lord Shaxx has a bounty called the True Meaning of War. Completing the bounty each week, which requires completing the PvE weekly, grants players Nightfall tier rewards. So he has 5 bounties, weekly bounties that you can do, and obviously they're not going to be easy. But you do those, and you complete the True Meaning of War, the 6th one, and you turn that into Shaxx, and you get Nightfall tier rewards. So that's kind of nice for people who really only play PvP, or it's better for all-around players who can basically get a second Nightfall each week on each character. So that's sweet. Now what they're doing is the daily heroic and daily PvP. It's important to us that Destiny remains compatible with real life. Playing multiple characters can sometimes feel like a job or a chore. Yes, it can. The daily heroic and daily PvP often felt that way, so we increased the rewards and made them an account completion. We want players to choose which character they want to play on and earn legendary marks on. So you can only do the daily heroic and PvP one time. So you pick which character you want to do it on, and they increase the rewards. I wonder, because the rewards were kind of worth it when you did it on each character, and so they're increasing that. I wonder what that's going to be. So that makes the dailies a lot better, and it doesn't feel so much like a job or a chore to do it on every character, because you feel like you have to, even though sometimes you don't want to because it takes so long. But that's a good move. And the last thing, did we mention that you'll need to confront the immediate threat first? Oryx lies between you and these challenges. You'll need to survive his wrath to partake in the new endgame. Does that mean we have to do the raid first before we can do all the endgame quests? I don't know, but either way, it sounds awesome. I can't wait to hear some info on the raid, which we probably won't until it just comes out. It's just fine with me. I want to go in completely blind. But yeah, that's everything. There's some stuff about them. I'm going to PAX currently. Yeah, that's exciting. It's just more hype for the Taken King. That's this week's weekly update. Again, I suggest you check out the Twitch reveal on Bungie's YouTube, or the one before that, and expect the one with Laced Up Lauren next Wednesday. So that's going to be exciting. That's everything for the weekly update. More hype. Hype is never ending. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.